you, Deborah?
Terrified.
You look stunning, first of all. You look beautiful. I love the outfit. You look really nice.
Thank you.
Deborah, no reason to be terrified, okay? Everybody here supporting you. Look at all the whoops. People are shouting your name before you even come on. Mandy, Barbara, Dawn Matter, loads of people saying hello to you, Deborah. So those of you who haven't met Deborah before, Deborah is one of our TSD ambassadors. She's currently in Elite Physique. And Deborah, if you could kindly start off by telling us some of your struggles, some of the things perhaps that you found difficult, some of the things that you were struggling with before we met.
Okay, so I've always had, well, that's a lie. I was going to say I've always had problems with my weight. I always thought I was fat when I wasn't fat, if that makes sense. So when I was 17, I was getting engaged to Peter, had a size 10 dress, and I went jogging to lose weight. God, I wish I was a size 10 now and I could go back and say to that person, don't be so silly. So then I tried Pranovite Slim, Herbalife, Slimming World, Weight Watchers, Scottish Slimmers. I don't really know how I ended up going to a Scottish Slimmers class, but there was one at Durham, so I went to that. And it just yo-yoed all the time. I don't like spicy food. Quite a lot of the meals were spicy. Not great for me. So then not a lot of choice left. So I used to feel deprived. So I used to just get bored with it. And it was, if I ever had anything what wasn't on the plan, I always put weight on. So even, just I would be within my calories, I would just still put weight on, but I didn't do any training. I used to go walking, but I didn't do any training. So fear of exercises and going to the gym, I think goes back to when I was at school and just made to feel that I was useless at it, basically. So I've always been a bit not confident with the training and exercise side of things, but that's improving. Can't believe I've joined a gym. But I did.
Deborah, it's all changing.
Yeah. So then obviously my health kept yo-yoing. I developed asthma, diabetes type 2. I have got very high blood pressure. On 3 blood pressure tablets a day.
When did it was just happen, first of all? When were you diagnosed with diabetes?
It was about probably 4 years ago, and I was absolutely gutted, but I'll be honest, I put myself on the back step. I never really did. I never looked after myself. So I've got a very small family, me and my brother, and we had a relation who took bad abroad and we had to fly out, and then we spent the next 2 years looking after him. Then once COVID started, my mum's dementia kicked in, so I spent a lot of time. I'm going to try not to get upset, but I spent a lot of time looking after my mum with my brother full time. So I just put my life and my family, my health, everything, I just didn't bother with. I just put it on hold because my whole focus was looking after my mum. So basically, me and Peter went away for a week. We come back and called at North Allerton for an overnight stay. On the Saturday, we were supposed to be having a lovely day. Got up, had breakfast, went out, and I just must have walked about 10 yards, and I just felt like somebody had pulled the plug out on us, and the energy just completely went out of us, and I was exhausted. We had to go home, and I put off reading on the diabetes website, but when I looked at it, it was the diabetes, and that was sort of a wake-up call, like you'd need to do something about it. So I tried to do something myself, and then you popped up on my Facebook page, and I got the phone call of Owen, and God, he probably thought I've got a hysterical woman on the phone here. I was a nervous wreck. I was crying, but you know what? I've stuck to it. Like I just follow the plan. Do my meal plan. I love my meal plans off David. He keeps me right. I don't know how I managed, because I filled me ordered in wrong and told him everything what I hated was what I liked. And then, so if anybody's just joining, you're feeling like a nervous wreck, seriously. I've been there, done that. Knocked my iPad behind the radiator, had a training exercise going on for 8 hours downstairs. So I could hear while I was working how to stretch my legs. But, you know, I've done all sorts of crazy things like that. So if anybody's feeling nervous, I've definitely done all of that. I still probably have David demented, but yeah, so now diabetes started, my HbA1c was 68, then dropped to 61, now it's 45. In the summer, hopefully, well, will be, I know it will be, I'm confident that it will be. If it's still 45, I hopefully will be coming off some medication. Asthma classed as dormant.
Yes.
I did use my inhaler a couple of times when I had COVID earlier today. Mandy's good advice, I have to say. She kept me right. But it's dormant.
Go ahead.
So, and then my blood pressure. I've got really high blood pressure, but even when I was in the midst of a nervous breakdown last Friday, my blood pressure was normal. So I hope when I'm getting that checked that that's going to be all right as well. But I just feel healthier in myself. I feel I'm happy. I am definitely happier. I don't know. I couldn't thank you enough, Alex, to be honest with you. It was the best phone call I've made. Finally made time for myself, and it's been well worth it.
Oh, Deborah, you've done all of it. Nobody else. Like, you've done all this. Like, you reverse diabetes, thereabouts. Blood pressure is normal now. Asthma is dormant. How much weight have you lost?
I've lost 21. I had to write it down. 21.5 kilos, which is about 3 stone 5 pound. Gosh. And I've lost 61 centimeters. So even though I keep saying to David, my stomach's not going down, clearly it is, because I've just double checked all of me measurements and progress. So yeah. So David, my quote, brilliant. Patience of a saint.
We get some love for David, guys. Anyone here know David? Comment below. Lots of love for David. I know it'll embarrass him. He doesn't take compliments very well. So yeah. I'm delighted to hear that. And honestly, like myself and David as well, like, we're a huge fan of you, Deborah. You know, like, you just show up, you're honest, you raise your hand if you're struggling. You know, like, I know David gave you a call last week and spoke very kindly of him, but you've done it all. You've got through some really tough times. I'm not going to pretend I know what it's like having a mum with dementia, but you still did it. You got through all of it, and you prioritized yourself, and you've turned all of this around. All of it.
You know, the dementia, you know, the COVID really massively accelerated it. And, you know, the beginning of it all, she knew who we were by night now. I mean, I haven't seen my mum this year because I've had COVID, and then the home's been in lockdown, but she'll not know who I am. And that's the hardest thing. But, you know, I told you on one of our calls, Alex, I had a family photo. And it was me and all the family, and I hated it because I just look like an American wrestler on it. I look horrendous on it. And my son gave us it for a birthday present last July, and I was just like, oh no. But when I look at it now, it's a reminder not to go back to that. But I just see a nice family photo. But before I had it tucked away, so you could, it was in the sitting room, but you couldn't really see it, or I couldn't really see it. Now it's in the centre now. So, you know, so that photo I hated, I actually now love it because it takes us back to a happier time with my mum. And actually we had a lovely day, Christmas Day. My mum came out of the home, and I don't know why, but she actually knew who we all were, and she had a lovely day. So that was nice. So I took loads of photos then, because you've just got to treasure your family time, but you've got to make sure you're well enough to actually spend time with your family and be there for them and be there for yourself. So that's what I've been trying to do, basically.
You're doing.
Yeah.
Doing. And Deborah, like, again, my favorite things about you is that you don't just keep this information to yourself. Like, I've heard you raise your hand if you've had a struggle on the masterminds, and when you ask a question, obviously the answers don't just help you, everyone else benefits as well. And I can see everybody here commenting. Susan Breeder, understand fully, Deborah. Barbara says, Deborah Hunt, you are a star. Debbie Beck, you are such an inspiration. I mean, you are, and I want you to really take that compliment. And Deborah, obviously, a huge part of me having you on here is two reasons. One, what it does is it inspires other people who have got high self-doubt and who also don't feel they can do it. And secondly, it consolidates what you've achieved, and it means that you have this video forever and you can rewatch it and no one can ever take that away from you. So, and I'm serious about that, by the way. And everyone else is watching this, if you've done a client celebration with us before, go back and watch your own, because it does inspire you, it motivates you. But what would you say to someone, Deborah, who is a little bit scared, who has tried countless things, like you mentioned, Herbalife, etc., Scottish Slimmers, hasn't lost weight sustainably? What would you say to someone who has nerves, who has serious nerves?
Well, I was absolutely terrified. I was a nervous wreck probably for a full couple of weeks after I signed up, but I was crying after I'd had the phone call. And I would just say, just do it. Just do it, because it's worth it. I've never looked back. I still have wobbles and self-doubt, and David, I say, where's this coming from? You're doing fine. I've never been successful with my weight loss, but honestly, Alex, and this is not me bragging. This is just a bit of, I can't believe it. I have lost weight every single week. Since I started on the 26th of August, I've lost weight every single week, apart from Christmas, where I put a kilo on, but I lost that the week after. And even when I had COVID, I lost weight. When I had that eye up, only a quarter of a kilo, and normally I'd have been devastated. I was ecstatic, about like half a pound, basically. I couldn't do the exercises, and I was stressing to David, oh God, I better put weight on. I'd not be able to get weight on Thursday. But I always said, I'm not going to send a picture of the scales every Thursday with me weight, just so that, because I didn't think online would work for me either. I didn't think, so I was although I joined and I was excited and nervous, in my head, I was like, well, if this doesn't work, I am really just meant to be fat. Because, people say, sometimes people will say to you, your body's telling you you're meant to be that size. And you just start to accept it. And then all of a sudden you just think, I don't want to be this size. I used to smile and carry on, but I was so deeply unhappy. And it takes over your life. It does. It dictated my life. My weight dictated my life. And like when my sons were growing up, I was 23 and 26 and I had my kids. I was young. I should have been doing all sorts with them. But I did the things in the house, like playing with the toys, the colouring in and reading books and things like that. I didn't do anything active. I didn't go swimming or anything with them. Dear me, the thought of putting a swimming costume on, it was just devastating. So you miss out. But then, I've kept doing this, and then Christmas, got the best news. First grandchild is due in July. And I am not going to sit on the sidelines for that grandchild. We're going to be helping to look after it when, Craig and Andrew is at work. And I'm not going to sit on the sidelines. I just refuse to do that. I want to be actively involved. So I'm going to be. That's it, really. So anybody who's thinking about joining, or anybody who's just joined, just do it. One step at a time. It is overwhelming, and honestly, if you have moments of doubt and you start crying, that's normal. It's fine. You're trying to change all aspects of everything what you've believed in for years. You're trying to change that, and it takes time, but you do get there. I've had negative thoughts about myself I'm 55 in May, so probably at least 30 years of that. So, and it's a hard habit to break, but I'm getting there, trying my hardest anyway. And the support from yourself and David, he has been absolutely fantastic for me. Perfect match. So thank you, Alex, for pairing me up with him. He might not be thanking you, but I am. But the friend, I've got made so many friends. Like, I didn't even think you could make friends online, but I have, and they're absolutely amazing. I mean, I do a workout online now with Michelle on a Sunday night. What's that all about? God, can't believe it. Like, you know, I can remember my first the squat challenge, and I did that on Facebook and did that, and everybody's going, you look terrified. I was counting my squats, to be fair. I didn't want to miss out on any. So, but like now doing this, so far out of my comfort zone. So I had to put my perfume and lipstick on for a bit of psych myself up.
You're a natural in everything. There are people here who obviously will want to be losing the weight and want to do what you've done. And you're right. I suppose it can be overwhelming because you're changing so many aspects of your life. But the main message I want to get across is it doesn't have to happen overnight. You know, It doesn't even have to happen every week. You know, we can have tough weeks. We can have wobbles. Life is like that. You get curveballs thrown at you all of the time. But as long as you trust the process, as long as you keep trying to get a little bit better, ordinary things consistently done lead to extraordinary results. And I really mean that.
Yeah. David always says to me, trust the process. And the other one is be patient. Turns out I'm not actually very patient, but you know, I think the results motivate you. And sometimes you might not lose much weight, but if you're losing centimeters, but even I don't know, if you used to get out of breath walking upstairs and now you don't, all of that's an achievement, isn't it, really? You know, just small things, putting your bra on the next size down on the back rather than it's, you know, just little things like going out and going into shops and buying normal size clothes, like, you know, it's quite amazing.
And let's talk about these things. When we look at our wins, we look at them as a snapshot. But if you rephrase that or change the narrative in terms of, I am no longer out of breath going up the stairs. I am never going to be out of breath going up the stairs the rest of my life. I'm never going to have to ask for a seatbelt extender. I'm never going to have to worry about whether or not I'll fit in the seat in a flight. I'm never going to miss out on doing things with my grandkids ever again. You know, if you look at it in the long term, like compound interest, it adds value to your wins and it makes you really pat yourself in the back for what you've done. You know, and Deborah, you've done so much. And I can't thank you enough for coming on. Like, I'd absolutely no worries about you at all. I knew you'd fly it. Everyone is commenting here. Julie Taylor, inspiration. I hope I can do half as well. So do I. Kate from Barbara. Rush me, love your share. Thank you for sharing your story, Deborah Hunt. You are beautiful. Amanda Hall, lovely. So there's so many people who are going to benefit from this. And the main go-home message, guys, is that everyone can do it. It won't always be weight loss every week like Deborah's had. Some people will have trickier starts, a false start, a tough month. There's a lady before who didn't lose weight for 10 weeks. And then after the 10-week mark, all of a sudden it clicked and she started losing a lot of weight. And also some people don't lose weight, they change centimeters and they've got more defined physique. It's very, very different. So guys, commit to why you're doing it. Listen to Deborah and listen to everybody else as well. And Deborah, I can't thank you enough for coming on. You know,
thank you.
Literally normalized blood pressure, dormant asthma, and diabetes is soon to be a thing of the past for you. That's what. I hope
so.
Absolutely. Well, Deborah, any questions for Deborah, by the way, guys, before we let you go?
Easy ones.
Any really challenging, difficult questions for Deborah? any nice, easy question for Deborah, guys? Mindset, around training, around nutrition. Let's do a couple of questions. Ruth Pittock, Deborah, you've come so far, looking lovely. Thank you for sharing. Loads of people. Debbie Beck, thank you for being on with Alex. Thanks for telling your story. So again, it makes such a difference. There's 622 comments here, Deborah. You know, that's how many people who will have seen, you know, who will have seen what you've done. And
my God.
You should be so proud of that.
I don't know whether that's making me more nervous, Alex.
Don't be. Okay, so anxiety. I can't see any questions that have run off. I think everyone's going Valentine's in with the husband or the wife, but we'll leave it at that. Either way, Deborah, thank you so much for hopping on. I love chatting to you. I'll speak to you again properly on Wednesday. But thanks again for what you've done. Keep doing what you're doing. This is only the beginning, Deborah. It's only the beginning. And you look incredible. You are incredible.
Thank you.
Take that compliment. Thanks a
I
million.
will.
Good.
Thanks a lot. Thank
Speak
you.
soon.
See you
Thanks,
later.
Deborah. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, everyone.